Hello, welcome back. Today we are looking at a pin which shows an altered book, and the altered book has some interesting tuck spots in the pages. This is not an altered book, it's a journal that I got in a swap a while ago. I'm just using it for display purposes, if we can say that. So we've got an old book page. What I can glean from the pin, again, no instructions. It's laid over, and there's two gashes in the paper that then gets cards. The only thing that the pin shows, however, is that they had taken one page and overlaid it over another one. So let me just glue it. So the effect is that you end up with quite a clever tuck. So there's a tuck spot there and a tuck spot there, but it looks as if it's one page. The thing that bothered me on the pin is the text doesn't line up, so it's clearly one page overlaid over another to make the tucks, which in itself I think is cute, and it's not a tuck that is so often seen. And then you could just washi or something at the bottom to hide the mechanics of it, if we can call it that. So I'm just going to put a wide washi, and then that'll give you an idea of how it would look on a page. This is then also a tuck that you can add after the fact, because you layer it on top of an existing page. I think the idea though is that it has to be matching pages, because otherwise it's going to be very jarring that it's obviously not a trick. It's obviously just pieces overlaid. But if you try and do it like this, then you'll get away with the fact that there are some tucks. The wider your strip, obviously the thicker your tuck. So I'm going to see what I can do to alter it, or to use it in a different way. So I'm going to start with a double layer of book page. This is how it would be in your journal. I'm just going to reinforce the spine to see how you could do it, that it looks nice in a junk journal. So that's reinforced just with some masking tape or painter's tape. If you use the actual page, you need something on the back, because otherwise your pocket's going to go straight through. I think what could be nice is either a highly a nice floral, like a double-sided scrapbook, or fabric. So I'm going to try it with scrapbook paper first, and then just see that you can maybe make the pocket that it shines through, like you would a pants pocket with a fancy lining, something like that. So I've cut a piece of double-sided scrapbook paper to size. I'm going to adhere just around the edges, because you want the middle part loose, because that's where you are going to form your pocket. You can also adhere along the spine, so basically all along the border of the page. I'm just going to use some glue stick for in case I want to reposition something or I did something wrong. Just remember, these pins I'm following blindly, right? I haven't planned them, I haven't done them before, I haven't practiced off camera. So my idea is to really say to you, this pin is as easy as it looks, or it's not. So already gluing something thinner to something thicker. So make sure you pull it, that it lines up the way you want it to. That seems alright. If it goes over a bit, like it did here, just trim it off, and then just flatten it nicely. Okay, this is now the front page where you want to create the slitted pocket. What I liked about this one is the tear. How to get the tear in a solid paper, I'm not so sure. So I'm going to try and do a little hole with an awl and then just tease it with a ruler maybe. Using one of these cake boards, it's where big birthday cakes come on, between the two so that I don't poke through to the other side. So sorry for the shine. And then I'm just going to guess, right? And sort of poke. I'd ideally not want to poke through to the scrapbooking side, but I suppose you could have tried this before you stuck the stuff on too. Okay. Okay. There you go. So, I mean, it tears quite easily. I've not torn where I glued, so that was not so smart. But I suppose my pocket can go the other way. Yes, that actually works. This paper is quite fragile, so it keeps on tearing, so you're going to have to... but see, the tear is now different, where this pocket, the text didn't line up. I like it that the text lines up here, and also, if you look, you get the little bit of lining, let's call it that. Okay, let me try the other side, because you don't want it to collide inside. So I've made a hole on the one side, and I've wiggled my little, it's a mini awl, through. That's when you get this jagged tear. And then you must just position your journaling cards, or whatever you want to tuck in. You can also use it as a belly band. So like a... that goes straight through now. So it's more of a novelty that you're not pasting something on, that you're using the actual page. That actually works quite well. And then let's just stick something at the bottom again to finish it, that it doesn't continue tearing. If you want to finish it off, you can absolutely finish it off with a pocket in the same paper. That even tricks the eye a bit more what's happening where, depending on how busy you want your page to be, or a washi or a ribbon will work to stop the tearing. So let's just do that. So whatever embellishment you want to do on the bottom of the page, as long as you stop whatever's happening, top and bottom. You can also just do one little tuck. It's just the thing that I like is that the text matches, but with far less effort you get the same jagged pocket tuck by just overlaying book pages. I want to see if fabric, like a fabric pocket, does anything. I know some of you may actually prefer a cleaner slit, so I'm going to do it with a Japanese screw punch, but you can also do it if you've got a crocodile, or however long your punch reaches. So that's two little guide holes, and then I'm just going to cut it with a box cutter. So I'm just lining up the two holes and cutting through the paper, and then this is why you need a backing. So let's deal with the backing. but that then again gives you the little tuck, but the text lines up. When you use this glue, I find it very good for sticking fabric on paper, and then just keep in mind when you're sticking, the same as when you overlay the scrapbook paper, you need to leave a space for the front, I don't know what to call a hidden tuck, to remain functional. I'm in two minds as to whether to ink the little tuck, because if you ink it, you draw attention to it, and it sort of takes away the visual trickery of it, but at the same time it looks a bit unfinished. I don't know if I would even put some trim on it, because then again you start hiding the fact that the words match up, and in that instance you could just do version 1. Let me ink it and see how it looks. It's obviously now quite tricky to ink. Maybe one of those teardrop ones will be better, or like a little tiny sponge rather than the big. I do actually think it looks slightly better, and then what you can do is, I'm just pulling off the fluffies. So when you look in the pocket, it's lined, it's nicely lined with the fabric, and it's quite pliable, almost like a tissue box slit. So that's one. And then I've opened it and I've lined it with the fabric, purely because I like using fabric in my journals. And at first glance, again, it looks like one page, but I've specifically glued it so that there's another pocket on either side. You can embellish this. It depends on visually what you want. You could have also just left it plain, right? Okay, so that is a very easy way to make a, it's not even hidden, to make a pocket in a page. Not on a page, in a page. If you were a sewer, this would look really nicely, just with a zigzag around it to get the fabric on the paper. I'm going to try one now where I embellish the slit, the opening, the tuck spot. This one works both ways, right? So you can add as many as you want. You could also do them horizontally, that they then tuck in. The only trick is whatever you line it with, leave non-glued in the center so that the tuck pocket remains working. I actually think the one that would look good embellished is the one where you use it as a belly band. So I'm going to try that, because you can go over the top and then you still don't hide the fact that if you don't use it, it's almost as if the tear and things didn't happen. Embellished this one with a belly band, and what I try to do with the embellishments is lay them over to further confuse the eye. So if you look at the page just like this, it's almost as if there's nothing there, and then you can start either using it as normal side tuck spots or pocket. I don't actually know if it's a tuck spot or a pocket, like that, or you can use it horizontally, layering in a whole lot of things as a belly band. And because I've done the lace over the start and this bordered cardstock over the start, you don't really know. It's quite a nifty little trick. And from the back also you don't see any mechanics. Because it's part of the page, it doesn't add a lot of bulk either because you're not overlaying another pocket. Okay, so that's as a belly band with embellishments. I think that works very well actually. And this is just torn by hand as you go. This isn't inked or anything, but the more embellishments and things you add. Okay, version 1. The original version was merely laying torn pieces, or that was what it looked like to me on the pin, torn pieces over an existing page. It's okay, unless you really look, you're not going to see that the text doesn't match up because the paper is the same, it's from the same book. I just want to see, because I think this you can probably do something on the side because it doesn't really matter that you're hiding that the text doesn't match up. Let's do that. I've added these fabric ruffles right on the join piece, and that's actually quite good because now where the text changes is really hidden. So that's actually quite a nifty way to do these hidden tucks or page tucks. These ruffles are from Goeder uit my hart, and they actually add so much, they're tactile and they add a nice bit of colour. Okay, so definitely you can embellish these slits quite a lot and still end up with something pretty interesting and fun. I've gone ahead and just embellished this further. It's just a doily cut in half, and I've changed out the journaling cards for something that matches the blue trim, and there are slightly better fits for the pockets. So I mean, that's also a really fun journaling page now. Obviously not every one of your pages is going to be this busy, but the mechanics of what's going on here now are completely hidden. So to your eye, it actually just looks like this page and this page match, because everything else, you don't actually know what is happening. So actually, this, if you're planning to embellish, it's super easy to just stick 2 torn strips on as tucks and then hide what you've done. So I would recommend that. That's the closest to the original pin. And then let's see, this is now the super plain one. Nothing's been done. You can very clearly see what's happening here. We just inked it. And then it's got, whoops, this glue wasn't dry. And then we've got these pockets, but I mean, that's a matter for another day. Let's see what we can do with this. Got this lace with a little bit of a lip there. So I think I'm going to tuck it in with glue gun. Because I actually like the look of that with the lady and then the cards either at the back or in the front. So you've got the slit, but it's not so unfinished. I've just stapled on a little piece of fabric that then ties in on the other side. Actually, I started off with thinking you shouldn't embellish the little slits for the pockets, but I think the more you embellish them, the more the fact that they are there is almost astonishing. Okay,